Should you study in a college or a university in Canada? Universities. Universities are institutions that can grant degrees. All universities have undergraduate, bachelor's, degrees, and many have graduate, master's, and doctoral programs. Universities in Ontario are independent. Although they receive funding from the Ministry of Advanced Education and Skills Development, each institution is self-governing and regulates its own programs, admissions, and faculty. Undergraduate degrees usually take 3 to 4 years to complete, if you study full-time. An honors degree, the fourth year, is usually required if you want to go to a graduate program, master's degree. Many universities allow students to combine subject areas, example, a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Biology, into a double major. Many universities also offer professional programs, such as medicine, dentistry, and law. In some cases, you can begin these programs after 2 or 3 years of undergraduate study. An educational institution cannot grant a degree in Ontario unless the provincial government has given it this right. There are private institutions in Ontario that have been given partial degree granting authority. All of these schools are denominational, which means that they have a religious affiliation. Colleges in Canada. Colleges of Applied Arts and Technology have full-time and part-time diploma and certificate programs. Many also offer bachelor degrees in applied areas of study. Colleges tend to be more directly career-oriented than universities. This means they offer practical or hands-on training. Generally, a certificate program is 1 year or less, and a diploma program is 2 or 3 years. Colleges also have pre-trades and apprenticeship training, language training, and skills upgrading. Some Ontario colleges focus on agriculture, health science, art, or military programs. Students looking to study in Canada after 12th have the option of studying in elite universities in one of the most developed nations in the world. A total of 26 universities in Canada feature in the QS World University Rankings of 2020, with 3 of them in the world's top 50 and 11 more ranking in the world's top 300. There is one more reason on why you should study in university or college and do a bachelor's degree rather than a diploma. In Canada, international students aren't making as much money as their Canadian classmates in the first years after graduation. Overall, 43.6% of international students had no Canadian work experience prior to graduation, compared with 2.2% of Canadian citizens and 9.7% of permanent resident students. The average number of years of pre-graduation work experience was 6.2 for Canadian citizen students, 3.9 for permanent resident students, and just 1.2 for international students. 4 in 10 domestic students earned more than $20,000 in a year before graduation, whereas only 1 in 10 international students did so. 1 year after graduation, the income gaps between international graduates and Canadian citizens were larger for graduates with an advanced degree than for their international peers with a lower education. The difference was about 10% for bachelor's degree holders and 40% for the ones with master's degrees. However, by the 5th year, the gap narrowed for international students with graduate degrees, while it increased over time for their peers with a bachelor's degree or college diploma only. International students had lower earnings on average than domestic students in many fields of study, with a few exceptions where they had similar earnings: visual and performing arts and communications technologies, humanities, health and related fields. For the 4 most popular fields of study among international students, graduates from the STEM fields, architecture, engineering and related technologies, and mathematics, computer and information sciences, suffered a smaller earnings gap than their non-STEM peers in business, management and public administration, and social and behavioral sciences and law. The disadvantage faced by international students in securing pre-graduation work experience can be explained by language proficiency, cultural differences, concentration in fields of study, course grades, employers' reluctance to recruit and train job applicants with temporary residency status, and possible employer discrimination, the study suggested. International students may face these barriers when looking for a job while studying, before they formally enter the labor market, and after they graduate, it said. Another possible answer is the difference in participation rates between domestic and international students in work-integrated learning, which provides participating students the benefits of workplace-related skill accumulation and connections to potential employers. International students lack knowledge about the local labor market, have limited local networks, and face financial barriers, such as relocation costs and the additional tuition fees required for delayed graduation, all contributing to their lower participation in internship and co-op, said the report. Although the federal government has relaxed the off-campus employment rules for international students during school year since 2014 by allowing them to work up to 20 hours a week without requiring a work permit, they still have limited access to government-sponsored student hiring programs where priorities are given to Canadians. The disadvantage for international students in pre-graduation work experience hampers their ability to compete for a high-paying, high-quality job after graduation, said the report. The results of this study imply that policies to reduce the pre-graduation work experience gap are crucial to reducing the post-graduation earnings gap between international and domestic students.